this is really like a central issue in our country right now. I mean, if you go on a liberal news channel and a conservative news channel, and then go read maybe like a leftist magazine, all three of them are going to tell you a completely different version of reality. And not all three can be correct at the same time. You know, the people who are saying racism isn't real, and the people who are having racism done against them, those two people are not correct at the same time, right? And so it's a really simple process. If you'll just admit to yourself that a lot of people are lying, more than you'll be comfortable with, they're not just speaking some subjective version of reality for them, they're knowingly being disingenuous. And the more you help yourself come to terms with the fact that a lot of the people you know are unhinged liars, it's going to help. It really will, I promise. Because you're going to be able to start seeing when people are acting in bad faith, when they're trolling you, when they're making nonsense arguments, mocking you, hiding their real intentions, etc. Without this toolkit, I promise you, you don't have a fucking clue what people are on about most of the time. You're going to constantly be beset by bad arguments that don't actually make any sense at the end of the day, right? So this is all a process of trying to learn when people are totally full of shit. So let's get into this. This was a video that was getting tossed around social media the last couple of days.
Well, Black privilege is thinking that you are deserved or entitled to something because of the color of your skin.
That's white people. Just so we're all clear. Right? This is one of those moments like, in the Kyle video or the Candace video where they contradict themselves in a single sentence. She's defining a thing for you, but the opposite is the reality. And she's a living embodiment of the principle that she's decrying right now.
Black people especially, do get special scholarships. They're also shielded from a lot of scrutiny.
Yeah, again, she's just literally projecting. Like, she knows full well that white people get special privileges in the society, and they always have. She knows full well that most colleges were white, that black people couldn't go to the same colleges that white people could go to. So this is just disingenuous lies, folks. She's taking what white privilege is, and everyone knows what white privilege is by now, and she's just replacing the word white with black and making a disingenuous argument based on that. She's trying to highlight the hypocrisy of black people by using the same arguments we make against white people who are privileged and don't care. But it doesn't work. It falls flat immediately the second you see the premise.
Because of the color of their skin. Nobody wants to be tagged as racist. I'm not racist. I have respect for all skin colors.
Stop.
Asian, Hispanic, black, whatever. I would never treat any patient differently. I would never treat any human being differently. I think God loves everyone. I'm on the same page. However...
Stop.
I don't think that any race is above scrutiny, including black people. I think that the way people are behaving and the things that are being said are unreal. I don't have words for them. That being said, what do you feel like you go out and do where you're like, oh, I'm black. Oh, I'm black. I'm feeling it today. I don't understand. And yes, George Floyd actually was resisting arrest. He started to have a freak out pain.
Okay. I'm not going to go over this again. If you need a thorough rebuttal on why someone resisting arrest is not a death sentence, you can watch the Candace video. I addressed that there. what the fuck she was even talking about by black people go out and say, I feel real black today. What the fuck does that even mean? That's the weirdest shit I've ever heard. Like, genuinely. That's not how anybody thinks about anything. That's a sign to me that she's probably never had a conversation with an actual in-person black person. I mean, like, what does that even mean? I left the house and I felt real black today? No, actually quite the opposite. There is a shocking moment for most black children when they realize they're black, and it's usually the first moment they're targeted by racial violence. That's real shit. I mean, the first time I noticed that I was white was because I was called an in-lover for hanging out with a black kid when I was like 8. So that was the first moment that I had any idea that race was real, was because a fucking racist made it real for me. Right? And that's the same way with black people. If race was really not a problem, it would be not a problem. Black people don't walk out of the house saying, I feel real black today, I'm going to make racism a thing. No, man. It's a psychic web of violence and imposition of identity that's mostly done in the white community to black people. Now, there is a little bit of racial reinforcement amongst minorities and even inside of a single minority. So black people might weaponize racism against other black people in rare circumstances. It does happen. But for the most part, the imposition of this so-called blackness, that's a product of a Jim Crow society. That's a product of a slave society. It's the imposition of the class structure on the individual. Black people aren't born subservient. The society makes them that way through racial ideation, right? And this is the same ideation that she's continuing right now. I mean, this is literally, she's saying, I'm not racist, but I believe the root of racism to be true and valid, and I'm going to repeat it. I mean, come the fuck on.